here with a book recommendations video, and today I wanted to talk about some summer book recommendations, and I feel like my recommendations are all over the place. So I'm going to recommend 10 books. They are primarily romance and adult romance, but even the young adult, a lot of those have romance in them because that's just me. That's what I like. That's what I like reading. So of course, that's what I'm recommending. When I don't typically read seasonally, but if you asked me what a summer book was, I would say typically something on the lighter side. Murphy, can we not rip up the carpet, please? Thank you. Something on the lighter side, I think definitely romance, maybe a thriller or a mystery, which I don't read that very often, but I do have like a mystery-esque kind of book recommendation, so that's fun. And of course I think of romance, I think of romance all the time, but I think romance definitely fits in summer. These are in no particular order. So first is Wallbanger by Alice Clayton. This is one of my favorite contemporary romances, although I haven't read it in a long time. It's pretty light. It's fun. It's just like kind of steamy. I feel like the cover is steamier than the actual book is. But it's funny. It's definitely, I've talked about this recently about like why you might not like it. So you can always check out that video if you're interested in why it might not work for you. But generally, I think this would be a great summer read. Next is A Night to Surrender by Tessa, which is a historical romance, and this is the first book in the Spindle Cove series. I don't know, something about Spindle Cove just like gives me summer vibes. It's a place where women go in England when they like don't fit in, like when they do something wrong or they're wallflowers or something, and it's a place where they can like grow. There's some really good friendship, and so like I don't know if it's because I feel like these women are like going on like kind of a vacation a lot of times, and so that's why I think it's a summer read. I don't know. I mean, any Tessa is probably good. Next, I'm combining two books, and that's The Kiss Quotient and the Bride Test by Helen Hoang. So The Kiss Quotient is the first book. I didn't love it as much as a lot of other people, although I thought The Bride Test was art. These are a little more serious, especially The Bride Test, I feel like. For me, they were a little more emotional, but generally these are very fast reads. They're contemporary romance. I think you would just kind of like devour them. Like they're those like unput-downable reads. And I highly recommend The Bride Test audiobook if you're interested. Next is, a nonfiction. I think biographies, memoirs also kind of fit in the vibe for a summer read, like a summer beachy vacation read. And I don't read a ton of books like that, but one like memoir style book that I really enjoyed was Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick is like my age, so you would think she might not have a lot to share, but she actually has a lot of stories. She's been involved in like show business for quite a while, and I read this on audio. Again, recommend it. It's read by her. I really enjoyed it. It's pretty short. It's a fast read. It's engaging. Definitely liked it. Next, I had to put this one on here because summer is in the title, and that is Secrets of a Summer Night by Kleypas. So this is actually the first book in her Wallflower series, and each book has like a seasonal title. And this is the first one, so of course I had to recommend it. It's not my favorite in the series. It's probably like third. I don't know. I reread this series a few years ago, and I feel like my opinions on some of them changed drastically. I mean, Devil in Winter is obviously still the best. But I do really like this one. Like I said, it's historical romance. Did I say that? I don't know, but it is historical romance, and this has class differences, which a lot of Kleypas books do. And that is one of my favorite tropes. Next, we have Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen by Tricia Levenseller. I think these are YA fantasy, but they are super heavy on the romance. They're fairly short. It's just a duology. feel like they're addictive and you'll just blow through them. They don't require a lot of brain power. Another thing I often think about when it comes to summer beachy reads. They take place on water, so you see. For a mystery-esque book, I have A Curious Beginning by Deanne Rayburn. This is the first Veronica Speedwell novel. It's also the only Veronica Speedwell novel I've read. I don't know what Murphy's doing. I think this is gonna have a romance, but it's probably gonna be a super slow burn, but there are mystery elements. And like I said, again, I think mystery and thrillers do have like a place in the beach read category. Next is another contemporary romance. This is really a whole series, and that is the Boston Fire Department series. Is that what it's called? Yes, by Shannon Stacey. I feel like people don't talk about this enough. People don't talk about Shannon Stacey enough. I love her. I love these books. It's a series of books that follow firefighters in Boston, and I'm not gonna lie, half the reason this is on the list is because I was like, they're firefighters, so they're hot, and they're physically hot, and summer is hot, at least in my hemisphere. But also, I just really recommend it. A lot of them tend to be a little bit more serious for contemporary romance, but I think they are amazing. Shannon Stacey does a really good job of creating like a family feel at the fire department, and you get really attached to all of these characters. Please read it. Please read Shannon Stacey. She's underappreciated. Next is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is the only Talia Hibbert book I've read so far, but I'm sure the other Brown sisters books would be on this list as well if I had read them yet, but I have not. It's contemporary romance, which I think is great for the summer, and again, I think that it's a relatively quick, easy to digest book. This again is another slightly seriouser, I have an English degree, more serious story. Like Chloe is dealing with fibromyalgia, I believe. So she is dealing with chronic illness and chronic pain. So you have that, but the romance is very cute. I love the Brown sisters. They have a great relationship. It's very funny. And I think this is like a pretty, like when you look at this cover, don't you kind of feel like it's a beach read, like a summer read? I know it doesn't like scream like bikinis and sun and sand, but I think it does. And finally is one that probably does scream summer read, and that is Float Plan by Trish Dollar. So I actually read this as an e-arc, and it really impressed me. This is, again, a contemporary romance. It's a little more serious. The main character, her fiance or boyfriend, I can't remember which he was, he died by suicide. And so she ends up going on this boat trip that they were going to take together and never took because he's gone. And so a lot of it is like a journey on her own, but there is a romance. It is so well done. It's definitely emotional, but you're traveling with her on the water in, I think it's the Caribbean, but I can't completely remember. She sails out of Miami though. And it is very emotional. It definitely made me cry, but I feel like it was such a worth it story, and it had like the perfect amount of payoff. It felt very natural. I loved the combination of the romance along with the main character's growth and grieving journey. It was really good. And I know it's relatively new. It came out at the beginning of the year, but it's another book I feel like I don't see a lot of people talking about. So I thought I would mention it. So those are some summer book recommendations from me and a few different genres. Let me know if you've read any of them. If you agree with me, disagree with me, leave other summer recommendations. Let me know if you do or don't read seasonally. Like I said, I don't really read seasonally. I just read like whatever I want, whenever I want, which is mainly just reading a romance novel, obviously. But I will talk to you later. Bye.